Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your March 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, there will be all sorts of goodies for you to explore, including a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of the reading. Please do remember that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. Only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly do appreciate your time, your attention, your energy, and of course, your company. Let's get right to it and see what's going on for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Scorpio's theme for March 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us about a truth for Scorpio this month. There it is, thank you. Tell us about a lie coming up for Scorpio this month. What is a lie Scorpio should know about this month, please? Yep, that one, thank you. And tell us about a lesson or a blessing. Thank you. Ooh, I like seeing that. Let's get some clarity. Tell us more about Scorpio's theme for this month, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us more about a truth. Okay. Tell us more about a lie, please. More about a lie that Scorpio needs to be made aware of for this, okay? And tell us finally more about a lesson or blessing. Thank you. Okay, let's jump right in. So your theme for this month, we do have the shark showing up here. And what's really interesting about this, first of all, is that it is a water sign. And I do feel like there's something here for you, Scorpio, about really coming back to your truth, coming back to what you know is true for you. Actually, in the guidebook, if I'm remembering correctly, either way, I'm being drawn to this. So even if it isn't necessarily what the guidebook would say, there is this message here coming through around, essentially, if you're not in alignment with your truth, Scorpio, I feel like you could be finding yourself quite irritable. Maybe even like it's kind of funny because I'm kind of seeing it like this, right? Like a shark, like chomping down, if you will. Or biting down. So I do feel like if you are not in alignment with your truth, if you're not doing the things that you know bring you joy, bring you happiness, I feel like it's going to create irritability for you. And you might find yourself even like snapping at or kind of having this maybe a little bit of what I guess you could call a painful bite when you're communicating with other people, right? So in other words, it could be coming up and being projected onto other people, though it has nothing to do with them. Okay, so that's really interesting. Let's see what else you have coming up for this month. The fire ant, yeah, very similarly, right? Because that fire ant is essentially this energy of when something comes into its space, it's automatically on the attack, right? It's automatically going to kind of see it as a threat. Okay, so I feel like, how do I word this? If you find yourself being moody or irritable or snappy, snippy, kind of like something along those lines, if you find yourself being that way this month, I feel like I would ask myself, if I were you, what am I avoiding that I know is true for me? Or what am I not pursuing that is true for me? That shark energy is very direct. And it's like, if you're not, how do I word this? If you're going against that, then it tends to get very irritable. It tends to get very, even mean. And so I feel like this is an energy showing up for you. And it's interesting because you have this coming up in two different elements, not only the water energy, but also the fire energy here. And so I do feel like there's a need to potentially get deeper within your emotions, with what you feel, your intuition, even, and to figure out what it is that makes you passionate, what lights you up, what motivates you, inspires you. And I would suggest, or look into those things, and then whatever you find, pursue that. Right? I would not avoid it. I would be yeah, I would be pursuing that. And it's interesting because I'm getting the word dedicated, so I feel like it's like I would pursue that and be dedicated to whatever that is. And I actually just got another word, relentless. So there could be some things that maybe you would like to do, or create or stir a passion or fire within you that you feel very deeply calling to you. And I would go after that relentlessly. Like, I would not give up, right? It's like stay focused, and yeah, just go after it. But let's see what the clarity is here. Yeah, you have double mission, light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. So yeah, there. Ooh, okay. So let me just pause for a sec, because like my belly right now is getting all topsy turvy, and when I experience these types of things showing up in my body, manifesting physically, I feel like whatever this thing is for you, I feel, oh yeah, okay. And I'm also getting a little bit lightheaded, which I was perfectly fine before I came into this reading. Just to make that very clear. I'm also getting a little bit lightheaded. So I feel like there could potentially be, how do I word this? Whatever this thing is for you, I feel like it could be something that could make you like anxious, very nervous. The fear could be something that is I guess you could say thick. It could like turn your stomach a little bit, right? Kind of energy. It could also, I feel like, how do I word this? I feel like it's that energy of like, I'm so nervous, like I might pass out type of thing. So I don't know what that could be for you. And maybe that's for somebody specific, but now that I've talked about it, like I'm starting to feel normal again. So clearing that energy or speaking on it tends to clear the energy very fast from my body. I do feel like whatever this thing is, though, again, is something that means something to you. And what's interesting about this is like now I'm salivating heavily, so I do feel like you could be thirsting for that meaning or for that purpose. And I how do I word? I want to say you do have purpose, otherwise you would not be here. And I feel like whatever this thing is for you, it is part of who you are. It is part of, again, it ignites a fire within you. It's something that you're passionate about. So whatever that is for you, pursue that, because that's what's going to help you to find your place in the world. Yeah. And I feel like it's going to help you to feel like you have meaning or purpose. But I do feel like this is something that is likely to be something that you fear, or is a challenge, like looking your fears in the face. So for example, let's say there's something that you are super passionate about, but an element of that is, say, public speaking, and that's something that you're absolutely terrified of. Or gives you a lot of anxiety or makes you really, really nervous, right? I feel like it's something that's going to ask you to face fears. It's going to ask you to face some pretty big mountains or pretty dark tunnels, or however you would like to word it. But I feel like in the long run, it's going to be beneficial for you, because again, I feel like it's going to help you to feel like you have meaning and purpose, which you do. But I feel like for some of you, you've been disconnected from that, and so you haven't felt that way. You also have your child of the cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Yeah, okay. So I feel like it, yeah, I'm not sure if this is for everyone or not, but I feel like to some degree, some more than others. So maybe that's why it's coming up as like maybe this isn't for everyone, because I feel like there may be varying degrees of this. But for some of you, I feel like that that you're meant for something bigger. That whatever it is you're currently doing, putting your energy into isn't necessarily what really makes you excited about life, that really make that, how do I word, isn't as fulfilling as maybe something else could be, right? I feel like there's this deep knowing that this isn't this isn't meant for me. Like there's something else that I'm supposed to be doing. And that's not to say that maybe you don't to some extent enjoy what you do, or that you're not good at it or anything like that, but I just feel like there's this element of like there's got to be more than this, right? And some of you may know this more than others. Some of you may know, and I'm just going to use something really off the wall here, okay? That just popped in my head, and maybe this is relevant, I don't know, but maybe for some of you, there's this, like, I want to do something wild with my life. Like, I want to skydive professionally or something. And, you currently hold this job that is very well paying, or, at the very least, you're able to make ends meet, and, it provides you with shelter and food and all the things, but it's just not fulfilling. And what you really want to do is skydive professionally or jump out of planes professionally. And it's like, I know that that would make me happy, but there's this big fear of leaving behind whatever this is. Okay, now again, I know that's like a really kind of off the wall example, but it's that leaving your comfort zone to do what you really want to do, even though whatever's right here is safe. Okay, it's like rocking the boat. And I feel like for some of you, that's really, really scary. Really, really scary. It's really interesting energy. I also feel like for some of you, there's a fear of like, what will people think if this is what I want to do? Right? Like a fear of how other people may see you. And I feel like this is where part of that fire ant comes in, and where that shark energy comes in a little bit as well too, because I feel like there's this underlying feeling perhaps of, if I do this, then it's almost like there's a perceived threat, right? Like if I do this, then people may be judgy, they may come at me in some type of way, or say things about me, or whatever it is, right? And so it's really fascinating, because I feel like that knowingness that there's something else that may be out of alignment with what society says you should be doing, or maybe your family or culture or religion or whatever it is. And so I feel like that's partially a bit of this shark here, right? It's like there's that knowingness that those around you would not accept what your truth is. So if you're, yeah, again, so if you're like snipping at people, or, finding yourself moody or irritable, like it could very well be that that you're not doing what you want to be doing, and that those around you might not support you in that. So it's like automatic defenses up for some. That's really interesting. Let's take a look at the truth, or a truth. We have the camel here. So this is fascinating AF, because the camel is a balance of that water and fire energy. Okay, so that's really interesting, because you have both of those elements here with the shark and the fire ant. Another thing that's interesting about this card is there is that moon there in the background, and I feel like that is a representation for you, Scorpio, about the things that are hidden that are there. I feel also with the camel, again, it being that balance of the fire and water elements, I feel, again, deep down, your truth, right? We're talking about a truth here. Your truth, and what makes you passionate, what ignites that fire within you to some degree. But I feel it's hidden. You've been hiding it with that moon. And, I know that these readings, especially for this month, are not going to be for everyone. I mean, they're not ever for everyone anyhow, but, I feel like this is one of those things where some of you, like, I can hear you, like, that's not true. I don't know what I should be doing. I don't know. I mean, the truth of the matter is, though, you do know. Even if you think you don't, you do. It's just a matter of getting quiet enough with yourself, and opening yourself up enough to be able to receive that information, to allow yourself to acknowledge it. Right. And I mean, we're talking about a truth here. Again, I know that these readings are going to be super triggering, and that there's likely to be people who just downright don't like me after this, which is perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Right? I don't want to not share the messages that I'm getting for the comfort of people. Like, that's not what I'm here for. So that's perfectly fine, but I do feel like for some of you, or to some degree, right, there's it's hidden. Whether it's something that you are purposefully avoiding and not opening yourself up to, and telling yourself, like, no, this is what I should be doing, and just kind of letting your ego or this physical plane lead the way, versus what you feel and know to be true within you, what energetically pulls you, right? Let's see, what else, what do we have here? Yeah, so look at this. This is wild, wild, because okay, you have whale and orca elders coming out to clarify. So again, the fire here with the camel, and then the water with the whale and orca. Okay, so those elements of fire and water. And it says here, share your song, frequency of sound, deep diving. For some of you, maybe it has something to do with music, creating music, which is interesting because even though this card, I mean, obviously, like, this is one of the first decks that I purchased as a reader, which was a couple of years ago. And there have been very few occasions where I've actually had this song come through as a reference to music specifically. Usually it's more like sharing your song, like sharing your voice, sharing your truth, which I do feel is applicable here. But for some of you, I actually feel like that thing that calls to you or pulls you, that thing that ignites you, is music. I feel like for some of you, it allows you to get deep. It helps you to get deep within yourself, to understand yourself better, and it's something that you're passionate about. So for some of you, that's the truth. And if you are looking for confirmation, then there it is. For others of you, this energy of diving deep with that, again, with the fire energy and the water energy here, I feel like the truth is that if you allow yourself to really get truthful, you will know, right? If you allow yourself to really dive deep, to experience your emotions, your feelings, to get in touch with your intuition, to admit to yourself what your feelings are around what ignites fire within you, what you're passionate about. Because, like, I'm salivating heavily, which is not normal for me. So again, I feel like you're craving that truth. You're craving that alignment with what feels, how do I word this? Like, what moves you. Yes, thank you, Lord. Like, what moves you deeply, what stirs that passion within you. Like, I feel like you're craving that over the typical, I don't even know, like, material, physical plane, just doing the normal shit, like 9 to 5 or 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, whatever it is, to provide shelter. And it's like, this, I don't enjoy this. There has to be more than this. And I feel like that's what you're searching for. And I think if you were honest with yourself, like, that's the truth, right? The truth is that you're craving something with depth, something with meaning. What else do we have here to clarify? Portal doors are opening. You decide. Rewards and wild card. So yeah, the truth is, it's up to you to decide. Are you going to allow these things to come in? Are you going to dive deep enough to really get honest with yourself and to share the truth with yourself? I think that's like the missing, that, oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah. That's like that's the key, right? That's the key, which is interesting because you have this doors are opening here. The key is you deciding to acknowledge your truth, deciding to step out of your comfort zone, because if you notice, you can't tell what's on the other side of this door here, right? You don't know. And I think that's what could be stopping you or preventing you from moving forward, is just not knowing what's on the other side. But I do feel that when we do those things, when we, you know, take a leap of faith, as it were, God rewards us for that, and maybe it's not right away. Sometimes those things take time, but it does happen. And even if it is just simply the fact that the reward is you feeling good about what you're doing, I mean, that's a lot, as all by itself. You also have here water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So what's really interesting to me is, aside from what's here, because we have this water, right, which I feel is a lot about showing up for yourself. Scorpio, I feel like for some of you, you neglect what you truly want, what you truly desire, what you truly need, simply for other people or to appease other people, whether that be because they need you to do things for them, or because you just don't want them to think a certain way about you, right? So for example, I'm avoiding what I want to do because I'm worried that you will be disappointed in me, or you will look at me differently, or not accept me, or whatever it is. I feel like you neglect yourself for the sake of either others' opinions or for other people overall. Again, I was kind of getting the energy of, like, whether it's your family or your culture or religion or whatever it is, I feel like you're not doing what you really want to do. Um, I also feel like, just based on the picture alone here, this being is alone, right? There are no other beings with her, no animals that I can see, nothing like that. This individual is by themselves. And so and there's more water here even. So again, I feel like there's this need to actually do something for yourself, first of all, and that's the truth. And second of all, I feel like there's a truth here around getting quiet with yourself and allowing yourself to hear you, right? To do what nourishes your soul, what fills you up, what makes you feel good, right? I really feel like there's a need here to finally give back to you and do what stirs passion within you, what makes you feel alive. Okay? Let's see what else you have here. Finally, yeah, you have here as well, your life as a canvas artist, which I'm just going to pause for a moment, because again, I was speaking on, like, for some of you, maybe there is this element of creating music or something along those lines, and we have artists showing up. So maybe you're a singer songwriter or a songwriter, or whatever it is, or perhaps even just an artist all the way around. Paint, sculpture, whatever that might be, any form of artwork. But again, I feel like it's something that helps you to work through your emotions, work through the depths of who you are. I feel like that creative outlet for you is maybe therapeutic or helpful in you navigating yourself, okay? But I also feel like this is very, how do I word, very focused with this card on, it is up to you to create the life that feels good for you. That's part of being a co-creator, and that's what you are. Whether you want to believe that or not, you are a co-creator of your reality, which again, you have this portal here, right? You decide. You manifest your reality. So whatever your reality looks like, that is what you have been putting out into the universe. That is what you get back what you put out, and you create your experience. So if you're like, I'm never going to be able to do things that feel good to me, I mean, that's just where you're going to be, right? Or if you're like, I'm not important enough to warrant me going and doing these things for myself, like I don't matter that much, that is what your reality is going to be. So with this manifestation, creative accountability, pardon me, on this card, I feel like the truth is that you are responsible. It is up to you to make these decisions, regardless of what anybody else says or does. And here's the thing, this is a phrase that has been coming up again and again and again in these readings for this month. You have to live with you for the rest of your life, however long that may be, Scorpio. You have to live with you. That is for certain. Any person in your experience, any person outside of yourself can leave your life at any moment in time and never return. So if you are stuck with you for the rest of your life, why would you not want to do something that makes it worthwhile? That feels like you did something that you enjoyed, that you had fun doing, that was meaningful to you. But again, you create that. You decide what that looks like. It's that accountability, because your life truly is a canvas. So I feel like the truth here is for you to be pursuing the things that are going to bring, like, and how this is coming through is like to bring you back to life. So what is the lie here that you need to be made aware of? We have the butterfly. So what's really interesting about this, I feel like, which is weird AF to me, but I feel like part of the lie for you, Scorpio, is that I feel like you've told yourself this story perhaps, and maybe this isn't for everybody. I can already feel the triggers already. But for some of you, I feel like you've told yourself this lie that nothing will ever change, that you can't ever change, that nothing can be transformed, that everything remains the same, that this is all that you're going to experience for the rest of your life, that this is it. This is as good as it gets. And that is simply not the truth. Simply not the truth. Right? You have, like, you have to allow, how do I word this too? I feel like for some of, let me just back up a couple of steps, because I feel like for some of you, how do I say this? Okay. Yeah, for some of you, I feel like you may have put a little bit of effort into some things, but then maybe your fears or people's opinions or something like that has like stopped you in your tracks, you felt has prevented you from moving forward. And so there's this, how do I word this? Like, it actually, it's being shown to me kind of like this, right? For example, if you plant seeds in the ground and then you go dig them up a day later, like nothing will have happened, or very little might have happened, right? But if you leave it for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, you start to see things happening, or maybe not, right? Or but if you dig it up, like nothing's going to ever happen. And I feel like what might happen for some of you is that you like dip your toe in the water, as it were, or plant the seed, and then you just go dig it up because you're like, oh nope, that's a stupid idea. Or so, and somebody judges you, and so you just go and okay, I'm not going to do that then, right? Like it's like for some of you, there's these external people. I keep getting like external energy coming in. So I feel like for some of you, it's people in your experience, perhaps, again, or your culture or religion or something, where you like dip your toe in and then you back off, and then nothing happens. And so you've now convinced yourself that like nothing will ever change, right? Or it's like ordering a package from Amazon and then getting pissed off because it's not at your door in 5 minutes, so you cancel your order. You get what I'm saying? And with the butterfly, it starts off as a caterpillar, right, and then goes into a chrysalis. If you break open that chrysalis before the butterfly is ready to come out, right, before it's had enough time to develop, the butterfly is going to die. Similarly, the things that you pursue, if you put minimal effort in, it's not going to grow. It's not going to advance. If you plant a seed but don't water it, nothing, you're likely to not have anything happen, or maybe it takes a bit longer than what it would if you were diligent, right? So it's interesting, this energy coming through, but I do want to read to you what the book says about the butterfly, but do keep in mind what I've just shared, because that's pure intuition. And as I read this, and when I find it consider it from a position of a lie that is coming forward that you need to be made aware of. Now, this could also be coming from external places for some, but I really, really feel truly that this is likely a lie that you tell yourself, okay? So it says here, undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient, yeah, and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Like solid friends and activities support you, or excuse me, let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same place and time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. When in balance, cheerful and graceful. When out of balance, fragile and frustrated. To bring into balance, daily routine. So yeah, like I was saying, right? I feel like there's a need for patience here, and I feel like the lie that's been told is that nothing's going to change, nothing's going to happen. But have you really given yourself that opportunity? Have you really allowed those practices to be put into place, or that consistency to be put into place? Or do you, dip your toe in and then back up and decide you're not jumping in? Okay, let's look at the clarity though for you. Yeah, you do have perspective here. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. Here's the thing. This is with this perspective, very similarly to what I've said already in regards to you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. I feel like this is the perspective you're being given, right? So I feel like part of the lie is if you change your perspective, if you look at things from a different space, that you will see how you have likely been delaying or preventing your transformation, or transforming your experience, transforming your reality. Okay, because again, right, that perspective is like this is your life. This is like, why not do what makes you happy? And I'm actually getting fear. I think you're afraid for whatever reason, right? Maybe it's you're afraid of disappointing people, or again, how they may judge you, or something along those lines. What else do we have here? Yeah, Star Family, you're part of a team of souls, call and support. So there's another interesting thing, right? This butterfly also spoke on having that close group of friends to support you as you're transitioning. So again, like I was saying, maybe you feel like those around you are not going to support you in what it is you want to do. Okay? And I mean, it's completely up to you to decide, how do I word this? Who you have in your experience. Right? So for example, if you're like, well, I can't do what I want because my family is not going to support me. Well, then why are you still giving your time and energy to your family? Because unconditional love it doesn't matter, right? And I know that's probably not something easy to hear. I know from my own experience, I've left pretty much all of my family behind uh, because I didn't have the support. And I mean, for many, many other reasons as well. But, it's essentially you get to choose, you decide, right? So I also feel like you may have more support than what you tell yourself as well. That's coming through also. Okay. So for some of you, I feel like part of the lie is that perhaps those that you fear won't support you actually will if you express to them how important this change, this transition is for you, simply because they love and care for you. Now, that's probably not going to be everyone, okay? But you won't know if you don't try, right? If you just assume that no one's going to support you, well, then you like, and you let that stop you, right? Then you've already made up your mind for you, essentially. So that's pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the lesson or blessing for you. Yeah, this is beautiful, beautiful. So with the lesson or blessing here, you have the elephant, and the elephant is the waymaker. It is the energy that clears obstacles. Okay, so I do feel like part of the lesson here is for you to understand that you are able to overcome any obstacles that are put in your path, and that if you pursue something that ignites that fire within you, I think you'll find, even though there are challenges and even though there are fears that need to be faced or mountains that need to be climbed, that the obstacles will dissipate. You will overcome them. You will be able to move through them or navigate them to come out on the other side much more fulfilled, much more happy, much more feeling like you're, living your purpose, or that your life has meaning, which again, I cannot reiterate enough. You're still here, which means your life has purpose, because God doesn't make those kind of mistakes. Maybe you call it source, universe, whatever, I don't care, but it doesn't make mistakes. And if you're still here, there's a reason for that, because you have something that the planet, that humanity, that your community, that your family, whatever it is, needs. Okay? I'm going to read this to you as well, just because I feel like it will be helpful to provide an extra layer of depth, especially looking at a lesson or a blessing. So I find it fascinating that you have all of this fire energy here. And I feel like, before I dive deeper into the elephant, I just want to share, I feel like this is about you reigniting that fire within you. I feel like it's about you pursuing whatever you're passionate about, what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel like you have purpose, and helps you to, how do I word this, really discover or establish your identity, right? To really step into what is filling for you, or what is meaningful. Okay. But I think it's about essentially you lighting a fire under your own ass. Like, I'm just going to be honest, right? Like, if you want changes to be made, you're going to have to put the work in. It is really, I mean, that's really all there is to it. God will open doors, but you have to be the one to walk through them. Okay. Let's see where. Well, it would probably help if I was actually in the fire element section. Goodness gracious. Where are... Oh, that's really interesting. So I just realized what that was. Like, that was a sign. I feel like, again, like, you heard me say, or maybe you heard me say, it would probably help if I was in the right element. And we were in water. So sometimes I feel like you get caught in your own emotions. I feel like you get caught in your own depths, perhaps. And so you kind of get stuck there swimming around instead of coming to the surface, right? Which I could totally see. Sometimes we get stuck in our own heads. We spiral out, right? We get stuck in our fears or our what ifs, and we spiral out, and it prevents us from moving forward. But okay, let's take a look here at the elephant. Now, consider what I'm about to read in regards to a lesson or blessing for you this month. The elephant is unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom, as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. When in balance, one pointed focus, generous, loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, trust. So, right, here's the thing. I feel like if you are not in alignment, Scorpio, with your truth, with what feels good to you, again, you're going to be feeling that irritability, that moodiness, that snippiness this month. I also feel like there will be obstacles put in your way to prevent you from moving in a direction that is not meant for you. And the more in alignment you are with your truth and your path and what ignites fire within you, what feels good to you, I feel less the obstacles will be, right? They won't be as prevalent. That's not to say that there won't be challenges and fears to face and things like this, but I feel like those things that bring you to a screeching halt will be less and less and less. But let's take a look at the clarity for you as well. Wow. So here with the elephant, you have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Right? So essentially what this is saying, Scorpio, for you is that if you choose to take accountability for your life and your experience, and you allow yourself to move into alignment with things that are actually meant for you and allow yourself to transform through them, I feel like you will see those changes happening, because I feel like God, source, universe will support you in that. Right? So then you will start to see these changes happening. You will start to see these changes taking place. You will start to, again, see that way being cleared for you. You also have here the seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. So, right, looking at this as a lesson or blessing, with that, I feel it's going to be important for you to see the potential as you move forward, right? It's like, for example, like, don't cancel your Amazon order 5 minutes after you order it because it's not at your doorstep. Be patient. Keep your eye focused on what it is that you want to be experiencing, what it is you are trying to accomplish or achieve, right? See the potential as you move forward. Like, don't just give up because you don't see things happening right away, right? Step into that true Scorpio form, if you will, and find that drive, find that determination, find that passion, and allow yourself the perspective, the higher perspective of like, okay, things aren't working out right here. What do I need to change? How can I move through this? How can I overcome this obstacle? I also feel like bringing unconsciousness to light for you, because again, we have fire and water here. I feel with the bringing unconsciousness to light, clarifying the elephant, I really do feel like this is about bringing what you are passionate about to the surface, right? It's not about hiding it anymore. It's not about shoving it down. It's not about ignoring it because you're afraid of whatever, XYZ, whatever it is, fill in the blank. It's about stepping into it fully, taking accountability for your truth and what you want to experience, and moving towards that regardless of what anything external from yourself has to say about it, how they react to it, whatever it is. Okay? I think this is beautiful for you, Scorpio. I feel like this could be a powerful month of transition, should you allow it to be. I do feel like it's going to ask you to face some fears. I do feel like it's going to ask you to really have a lot of faith, and to be patient, not only with your experience, but with yourself especially, because I feel like this is uncharted territory for you. But I feel like if you give yourself the opportunity, you could definitely start to experience big changes. And I feel like it could really help you to transform and be reborn, and experience something maybe you have never experienced before. Thank you so much for joining me, Scorpio. It is a pleasure to have read for you for this month, as always. I truly do appreciate your company, and I pray that something here has been helpful for you or resonated with you in some way, shape, or form. If it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow, and I truly am so very grateful for you doing so. I pray your month is full of courage, perspective, faith, passion, fire, and acknowledgement of your truth. Again, thank you so much for being here. Take care of your beautiful soul. Peace be with you, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.